Oh, hello. Does not matter how many times I have to do like taped auditions. As soon as there's a thing looking at you, or like a point, like that lens, because this is the screen and this is the lens. It's just very strange and bizarre. I have to like press the hide self view when we record over Zoom, or else I'll just spend the entire time looking at myself. And as soon as I'm looking at myself, then I start like getting like inside myself. Um, I think it's what I wanted to talk today because I can already feel that thing that like starts to claw its way inwards into my brain, where it's like looking at you, looking at you, you're looking at you, looking at you, and it's like creates this like reverberation. What do you call it? An echo, yeah, like a brain. It just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This idea of being inside yourself, and I've been doing a lot of work trying to learn how to be present because I'm much funnier when I'm present. I'm much cuter. I'm much more fun to be around. I'm able to better like do the things I like, which is get other people to do that way. When I'm like with you, present. That's sort of like the goal of the podcast, is to figure out ways to do that. Another thing I wanted to talk about today is like how difficult it is to do that while you're planning or when you're making a podcast. I was talking to my therapist, Valerie. Shout out to Valerie if she's watching this. If she's not, I understand. Professional courtesy and respect. Some distances, safe and well. But she told me, because I was like, I'm not having fun doing this podcast. I'm not like having as much fun as I would like to be having. Like I can feel a stick jammed very deep up my asshole for how like serious I'm taking this and how like curated it is, and it doesn't feel organic. When I stop down and record, because I can feel myself like inside myself, like watching Sarah and Christian, my co-hosts, inside myself, being like monitoring, like, is this okay? Are people gonna like it? Is everyone feeling okay? It's just like, oh god, all this noise. It's just, who gives a shit? Who really gives a shit? And I'm trying to figure out like how to get back in touch with that fun part of me, the one that doesn't give a shit, in a good and healthy way. Because there's a bad part to that. That's why I have an ADD coach. That's why I'm like trying to work on like understanding the value that structure brings to things. But I think I've like veered too much off into the structure direction, where I've just become like a disciplinarian, like an authority figure to myself. It's like, what? I would never want to listen to anyone say they had an answer, so why am I like putting on this responsibility? And I know why, because we did the introspective work, and it's this idea that like, oh, well, you've never done anything before, and you would quite like to make something, and you would quite like for it to just be like successful and amazing. And now I'm learning that I have to be able to do that and like take the pressure off, which is difficult because you want it. The good thing about being in an acting class for so many years is you like learn how to just eat shit. Just go into an audition room being like, I really want this part, I really hope I get it, and then just be there in the casting director, just like fucking shaking, just being like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm doing the thing you want, right? I'm doing the thing. No, okay, I'm bad, I'm gonna leave, I'll just throw myself out. And you just get sick of that. You just get sick of just being needy, being unsure. And yeah, I'm still unsure, but the uncertainty is fine if you have a sense of humor about it. It's like really not fine if you like put all this pressure or need to be certain. Also, hi. A big problem I also have is like I didn't give any context for why I even made this video. I would like to do this instead of the typing thing, because when I type, I get real rigid. I can feel the ways in which I'm like, I read it back and I'm like, this sounds very like it. I like the voice. It just isn't really me. It just sounds like emotionally removed, and it's like very academic at times, which is not to say that I will ever think of myself as an academic, and maybe then that's entirely my point. Is that it's just like it's sterile. Is that the right word? It's rigid. It's rough. It's not rough. It's just like it's too clean. And so when it comes to writing these freaking, trying to remember, I want to like keep a PG audience. These newsletters, the intent of which I love, the action I hate doing it. I procrastinated this entire week on even writing it, and I thought to myself, this would be much easier to just talk about. Because when I'm sitting down and talking about it, I'm not thinking about the words that come out of my mouth. When you're at a page and the screen and just blinking, and you're like, I gotta think of the perfect thing to say. I gotta think of the exact perfect thing to say. And it's oh man, it just kills all desire to want to have fun. So I think I'm gonna try this out and see how it works. I know it's gonna work. I love this. I feel much better. It requires people to have to look at me talk, which also fulfills a great second need of mine, which is whether or not anyone watches this video is entirely besides the point. I am simply envisioning that you all are, and you love it, so that's enough for me. We're talking about. I was connecting the ideas because when I talk in person, the ideas I'm just sort of like following like that's the gift of ADHD. It's like the map is just you can't really see it more than 5 feet in front of your head. That's actually a really good metaphor. It's like nearsightedness. So you're sort of just following step by step by step. But that path is like very clear, very detailed in the short term. I was thinking about how I had this idea ago because I hate written text, at least in the way that it exists online, and how we as a species like respond to written text is that we read it in our own voice without hearing the other person's words. So it's like we prescribe a lot of intent or a lot of meaning through words based off of like something entirely arbitrary, separate from the speaker or writer's point of view. And so I thought, like, wouldn't it be nice, like, if instead of Twitter, instead of like any like comment threads, or instead of any like discussion section, like you could reply, you would just have to record yourself saying it, so that people could like glean more information about like your intent and like what you meant by that, and in general, everyone on the internet would stop taking themselves so seriously. It's like very clear to me how easily you can take yourself seriously in a medium where it's very like text based and driven, because you miss all the juicy bits, you miss all the and like I love doing the juicy bits. I think I make funny sounds with my mouth and intonations and tonality, and you lose all of it when it's not that way. And my point was, and so I understand like why TikTok is like an attractive alternative, that looks like what TikTok would be. I'm not trying to, but I mean like also I should say my knowledge of TikTok is like paired with like Chinese hackware, malware trying to control our brains. Also, there's like apparently a lot of it's sort of like the Wild West. There's a lot of kids dancing, which is fine. It just opens a can of worms. You can see it on my face what I mean. So I will not elaborate. And so I guess the idea of TikTok I understand. I just think people try to do too much with it. You know, I always want like whatever is like sincere and like when people aren't trying, they're just sort of like being. As soon as I'm like I can sniff it out when people are trying. I'm like, you didn't need to try, man. You were doing just fine, which is great advice that I should take myself, which I'm getting better at. I do think I'm getting better at it. I do think I am. Even doing this, I can feel relief and like, oh, okay, I don't have to like arbitrarily accomplish a standard I set for myself for how I should be. I'm going to grad school and I'm very serious and I have very serious things to say. This is recording good. Okay. We're almost at 10 minutes. Another thing I've noticed is that when I get inside my head like that, and now that I'm getting a little more comfortable sitting here and having talked, I can see more. Like I'm not so self-looking that like, because when I do get nervous or anxious or like overwhelmed, just smell my own shit. I don't look at people's eyes as often, and I get like I'm like too here, so I'm not really seeing. It's a gorgeous day, fucking freaking beautiful day outside. Podcast. I haven't worked on it for a week. I've been sorting out like why I felt, because we're getting near to the point where we're ready to release. Like, my sister's been doing a wonderful job on the social media page, and I've just been like this with it because I don't want to look at it because I'm like afraid of seeing anyone receive my product, which is why I'm like internally sabotaging myself. I don't want to like have something bad, and not even something bad received by others. Like, I don't want to think it's bad, and I know that it hasn't been the best it can be because I've spent a lot of time like governing how it should be, and so I'm gonna change it. I want to change it, at least the part that I can, which is me. I'm gonna be more fun, 100% more fun is what I'm saying. Oh yeah, Sarah's been editing episodes. The episodes are great. They sound really. JD made a song, and it's very funny. And he's been like, I can see him doing sort of the same thing, where he's like, he's like tearing himself. He's not tearing himself up over it, but he's certainly thinking hard about it. And then we get to a cut where he's like, he had an idea, and I was like, that's funny, And we had a second, was like, is this good for optics? Is like, are other people going to be like, and I don't care. I was like, I don't care. It's funny. It makes me laugh. Let's go. Let's do it. Who gives a shit? Who gives a... I gotta work on the vulgarity if I get into this professional career. Not the podcasting. The social work. Talking to people about their stories and feelings. Hope you're all feeling good. I am. I got a new haircut. I'm looking fresh. I bought this shirt. A man said it reminded him of the 50s, which... it certainly didn't... He, sounded hesitant. He's like, where'd you get that shirt? Like, not accusatory, but it was like... And I was like, just for the thrift store. I thought it looked cute, and I wanted it. He said, it reminds me of the 50s. Which is loaded, It depends on what the 50s meant to you. It means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. As an aesthetic, I'm like, I like the shirt. Do you like the shirt? I think it's okay. We're going to talk about, for next week... I know, because we ended the last episode, and the idea is that we end an episode, and we have structure that lets us figure out the next episode, and then Daniel comes in and is like, actually, what if we just forget all of that and do what I want, because it's my show. Sarah and Christian are very patient co-hosts, I should say, very patient co-hosts. Very good friends. I would not be anywhere without them, and I feel always so terrible when I haven't done any work for a week, and I know that, Sarah's editing episodes in her free time, and it used to fill me with guilt, but I'm trying to replace that guilt with an appreciation and love for the fact that somebody else believes in me, even when I'm taking myself too seriously. So I'm very grateful for that. I am. What are we... Oh, so now this is the part where if somebody actually wants to engage with the content, write a question, respond to whatever this question of the week is, or my poor sister, who I'm going to make watch all of this so that she can get to the end of it and be like, oh, okay, that's what I'm going to post on social media. Great. The question, I think I want to be on something to do with taking yourself too seriously. What my problem has been that I've been trying to control. It was all prompted by my meditation this week, and Tamara, bless her heart, was talking about acceptance. Yes, acceptance. It was also, talking to my therapist where she was like, what if you just let yourself be who you are? And I thought, that's a novel idea. I think it shouldn't be this hard to do that. So, are there any ways in which you know that you're taking yourself too seriously, or you're trying really hard to control something in your life? Why are you doing it? I'll tell you why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because It's complicated, I guess, but I do know why I do it. It's like I very much want to do a good job. That idea of a good job is a very complicated one because half of it's on me, half of it's on the idea of me. And when I was a kid, it wasn't so gosh darn hard because as a child, I just did it. I didn't care about it. I was just like, that's cute and fun. I'm cute and fun. Let's have cute and fun times. And so now that I'm an adult and I'm like, everything has to be a way. It needs to be structured and there has to be a point to things. I'm just losing all the fun. So what are the ways in which you are maybe over-structuring, over-complicating, trying too hard when you need to be just accepting or being more present? Or this is the good part about structure, is that this is not like a very clearly written out question, so I will take some time, look back over this and put it in words so that then my sister doesn't have to watch the whole video, but she will because she loves me. This is 60 minutes long. God damn it. No one wants to I don't ever want to watch anybody talk for 60 minutes. So I love you. Thank you if you have. And if you haven't, I hope you go die in a hole. Nothing personal. I don't mean that. I love you, whoever you are, because I think it's absurd that somebody would get to this point. I cannot rationally process that. But if you did, it means you have 17 minutes of your time in your day for me, and that is a beautiful gift, and I am very appreciative. Don't let it go to my head, or else I'll become unfunny. I'm gonna close it now. We're done. We're done talking. I want to eat. There's food on. Bye. Goodbye.